Hi, I'm Tsahi Levent-Levi of blog Geek.me, and I want to talk with you today about video codecs, or more specifically, how you're going to use H.264 or VP8 in your application. Now, to begin with, let's think a bit about live video processing, what exactly it means, or what are we going to use as the main technology for that. And if you've had that question, then you probably looked at WebRTC. And WebRTC is probably going to be or should be your first and only choice for your technology stack. WebRTC is a standard specification that is part of HTML5. It is implemented by web browsers today, and it enables you to run voice and video calls directly from the browser using JavaScript code without installing anything else. It's quite a powerful protocol. Now, if you look at WebRTC and video codecs, and you put that in a frame of technology generations, then the current generation of video codecs are H.264 and VP8. We're at the peak of that generation, and we're going to move on to the next one quite soon. Some say we've already started. The next generation is going to be HEVC, also known as H.265, and VP9. After that, in the horizon, there's AV1, the next best video codec out there that doesn't exist yet. For WebRTC, the mandatory to implement codecs are H.264 and VP8. It doesn't mean that you must support both of them in your application. It means that browser vendors need to support both of them to be WebRTC compliant. Now, the situation today is slightly different. If you look at the modern browsers that we have, they all support H.264 for WebRTC today. That includes Firefox, Chrome, Edge, and Safari. VP8, on the other hand, is supported only by Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. It is not supported by Safari today. And if you look at the next generation codecs, then Chrome and Firefox support VP9, which is optional, but they are still supporting it. Let's look at these codecs and what makes them different from one another. VP8 is the most common video codec in WebRTC today. Most of the applications out there will use VP8, and the reason for that, it was there first, and it is royalty free. You don't need to pay for patents when you use VP8 and process VP8 bit streams. On top of that, it has simulcast implementation. If you recall from the previous session, simulcast means that we can now send multiple video streams towards the server, each one in a different bitrate, so the server can decide what to send to which participant in a group. Simulcast is very useful in group video calls. H.264, on the other hand, is the most widely available codec in WebRTC. It runs on all browsers today. It doesn't support simulcast, or the implementations of it in browsers don't support simulcast. It's also the most widely used codec outside of WebRTC. And it has the same capabilities when it comes to, the quality of the video that you get for a certain bitrate. VP9 as a next generation codec requires more CPU and processing power to run, but it offers a better quality. It offers the best quality today when you look at WebRTC calls that you can run. It is also royalty free, just like VP8, and it supports SVC, Scalable Video Coding, which makes it the best alternative if you want high bit rates in large groups. So how do we pick a video codec? With all of these alternatives out there, what should be the strategy that we should use? One option is to select the best codec for your scenario. I'm going to use, let's say, VP8 and decide that I'm not going to support Safari. Or I'm going to use H.264 and support everyone. I'm going to pick one codec and use that everywhere. The other alternative is to support multiple codecs and just pick the best one for the context that we have. So we're going to select dynamically per call or per session which codec to use. So what alternative are we going to pick? Banking on a single codec or using multiple ones? I don't really have a good answer for you. This is something that you'll need to figure out based on the requirements that you have in your service. Thank you for being with me for this session. See you in the next one.